by the Washington defender, really.
So Michigan will punt again with Tommy Doman standing at his own 6-yard line. Doman, a spiraling kick, backs up Giles Jackson to his own 33-yard line, and he is planted at the 32. Good coverage from the punt team.
Joe freaking Taylor doing it all on special teams this year. One of the most underappreciated Wolverines. Special teams ace down there making the tackle on a pretty shifty Giles Jackson.
Shout out our fellas at the Michigan Daily, wrote a nice feature on Joe Taylor this week.
We talked about it a couple minutes ago, but Michigan's coverage units on special teams have been some of the best in the country this year. Kickoffs and punts, a number of special teams aces. William, I know you've done some work on those units, but Joe Taylor is just one of the guys. Caden Colasar, another guy that has made a lot of plays on the special teams.
Jerome Nichols down there as well, I think, to assist on that tackle. He hasn't been a guy that's been playing as much special teams, but it's all about effort on that third side of the football. Guys like Samaj Morgan, who, whatever these troubles with the return game have been, talked about how he didn't really see a side of the football other than offense before he came to Michigan, got to college, and realized that's a really prime way to get on the field. He said when he got to Michigan, he was actually on the sidelines for the Fiesta Bowl as an early enrollee, that he was not going to redshirt, not going to sit on the sidelines. He knew he would be on the field the next season. It hurt him not to be able to do anything against TCU. He's been on the field all year as a surprise freshman contributor, a 3-star recruit. And special teams is one of the ways that he has made an impact.
Coming out of West Bloomfield, he was not highly touted at the national level, but has been a difference maker and is one of the best athletes, one of the best players with the ball in his hands on the team. He's mentioned it earlier, an 87-yard punt return against Iowa in the Big Ten championship game. Has scored on a couple of end-arounds this season and just getting touches any way they can for him.
And, of course, Ron Bellamy, Michigan wide receiver coach, was his head coach at West Bloomfield, so he knew what Michigan was getting, and Samaj Morgan's just been an explosive player this season, another weapon for Michigan in the near and future.
Another media timeout here in the fourth quarter of play as Mr. Brightside echoes throughout NRG Stadium. The Michigan faithful obviously loving that.
And as much as you talk about this song not being a hype song, it seems like Michigan always turns it up after they play this song on the PAs. I don't know what it is. It wouldn't get me hyped up. Maybe just having the fans be in it once again after kind of a sleepy second half so far. But, man, Michigan's just got to make a play to get on the other side of this hump they just can't seem to clear.
Second half in a good old punt battle.
A field position battle that for the most part Michigan's done well in. Off of the leg of Tommy Doman. Ball on the 33 after Giles Jackson was planted on the punt return. Johnson, the tailback. They fake it to him. Penix, clean pocket, looking to throw, and he's got Polk. Nope, he dropped it.
Behind him.
Slightly behind. Keon Sabb was in there to knock it free. The third safety for the Wolverines making a big play there.
Penix has not been on like he was against Texas, just missing throws by inches. A little bit of pressure by McGregor, but that's a throw he makes.
But also, I mean, Michigan was in a zone, and McMillan came all the way across, and to me, that's a ball that he has to hand.
It hit him right in the hands. Penix going to throw again. Pumps. Oh. Looking deep. Odunze. Got it.
That's a beauty.
He finally got Will Johnson on the double move. Great pump fake by Penix, staying tall in the pocket. Referee's conferencing.
And it's coming back. The one time Penix and Odunze are able to connect on a deep ball, it comes back via a hold. We couldn't hear the number over the roar of the crowd, but that is a huge break for Michigan.
Again, Michigan not playing crisp football, but their opponent has been a little bit sloppier, just like in the Alabama game, to give them an edge so far.
Michigan was able to turn it up late in that game. The defense held long enough. Can they do the same here?
Rosengarten, the senior, who falls star to the right tackle.
Clock ticks down to 11:20 in the game. Penix dropping back to throw. They set up a screen of McMillan, and he's dropped. Mikey Sainristil put him on the turf. Picked up 2 only on the screen.
Might be stating the obvious, but Mikey Sainristil's a football player. He's just everywhere, all over the field. He makes tackles after the catch and in the run game. He's become a great cover guy. He's just a great football player through and through.
He's a Jim Harbaugh football player.
You're seeing the energy come back to the Michigan defense right now. They turned it up at a crucial time against Alabama in the fourth quarter. I think it's coming back right now.
This Michigan defense has swagger. They go in every play and believe they can stop any offense in the country.
Big chance here for the Huskies. 3rd and 18. Ball on their own 25. Penix looking to throw. He's got Johnson over the middle, and he's going to be dropped well short of the sticks.
Little interior pressure on a stunt from Jalen Harrell. Got Penix to throw that football off his back foot. Didn't affect the accuracy, but he went for the check down of the running back, short of the first down marker, and another punt.
I mean, this has just been an unbelievable defensive showcase.
They're putting the 2 returners out there again.
Oh, so maybe it was a decoy last time, and Michigan just threw out an extra gunner or extra guy in the line.
That was likely the issue.
And maybe Samaj realized it on the way out.
That is 11.
Is it possible they had 11 last time and Morgan miscounted and ran off, and that was why there was no penalty?
That could be it too, but I still don't like it.
So 2 returners back for Michigan is
another short punt.
It is fair caught by Jake Thaw. He calls off Morgan, and William is visibly upset by this punt return decision from Michigan, and he's so upset he's going to run out of the booth. So.
I mean, right play there. I mean, Thaw made the fair catch with Gunner coming down on him, so it works out for Michigan, but quite unorthodox to have 2 guys back in a punt return. You don't see that a lot.
You feel like there has to be a better way for Michigan to handle that. I mean,
yeah.
So the Wolverines survive another punt from Jack McAllister. We'll get the ball around the 30. It's marked at the 29. They're nursing a 7-point lead, 20-13. Only 6 points so far in this second half. Both teams traded field goals in the third quarter. And now we just wait. Which offense is going to make a play first, or can the Michigan defense just ride this game out?
William and I have talked about it a lot in the second half. If I'm Michigan, I think you try to establish the run, but if Washington is continually putting 7 or 8 guys in the box, I think you have to go play action. You have to try to throw downfield, throw to the sidelines, try to pick up plays in the air. And this is sort of the moment. This is the big moment, the national championship, where if J.J. McCarthy could step up and be, and Jim Harbaugh is called the greatest quarterback in Michigan history, if he's that guy, this is where he steps up and makes some plays that can win Michigan a national championship.
And we talked about it on the Rose Bowl broadcast. The legacy he would, regardless of whatever his numbers are in this game, the legacy he would leave if he's able to hoist that trophy in about 10 minutes of game time is unmatched in program history. A national title, 3 CFB appearances, 3-0 against Ohio State, 2-0 as a starter, 3 Big Ten championships.
Sure. Sorry, I just had to run off that punt return. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but that is like tailor-made to be muffed with a punt returner fair catching it, one guy coming up behind him.
I mean, you have to imagine they've practiced it, obviously, if they're putting it in the game, but still. And also just one less blocker.
I don't know.
Tight formation here from Michigan. I imagine this is a run on first down. Well, now they'll spread out, but curious to see where they go here.
Loveland split all the way out to the left.
Empty the box.
Right.
They'll bring him back in. Morris, the other receiver on the left side. It's play action over the middle. Loveland, great catch. Ball was tipped. Loveland in space. 40, still going, and he's brought down at the 30. Colston Loveland getting loose.
That was a throw by McCarthy. Took a big hit in his face as he delivered that ball. And
it might have been tipped at the line.
I think he did. It's just his arm getting hit. Floated on him. Similar throw to Roman Wilson. towards the end of the Alabama game.
Big stuff from JJ there, and how about the run after catch from Loveland? Michigan goes quick, handoff, Corum up the middle, finds a crease and picks up about 3 or 4. Michigan finding some juice, going to one of their best players, Colston Loveland.
Loveland used all that 6'6" frame, and I talked about it. I thought he'd get more active in the Alabama game. I thought he was the key, given how much of a mismatch he is. He's got 2 big catches, in this one. I also think on that play, kind of an RPO design, Washington backed out some players from the box when Michigan went spread.
Yep.
JJ pulls it, throws it, big completion.
I really like the play call. As you said, spread them out in the play action, and even if you go to the run, there's a little more room for Corum, but again, sort of tight right now on defense and offense right now.
Mullins, the tailback, they fake it to him. JJ, bootleg, dumps it off for Roman Wilson. Wilson gets the corner and a little bit more. Run out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Michigan's offense finding some juice, and I know we've talked about their struggles. 281 yards on the ground, over 420 total yards of offense in the game from Michigan.
Well, and when you're almost 200 more yards than the other team, you'd expect to be up by more than 7. Obviously, they can punch it in here from the 15. But those short drag routes to Roman on the bootlegs, Alex, you talked about it. That's kind of bread and butter pass game for this team.
Scored the game-tying touchdown on the Rose Bowl with that. Motion Corum to the left side of McCarthy. It's a give to Corum. Corum up the middle, and he'll be dropped short of the 10-yard line.
I mean, I like what Sharon Moore and this offense is doing right now. The play action, you're putting JJ in space. The short passes, it gives him a couple easy reads on the same side of the field, and it also can open up the run game perhaps if slowly but surely this Michigan passing offense becomes an increasing threat. And now we're approaching the red zone. Things are going to tighten up, but if you can open up more room in the box for Corum to work, get to the second and third level, that's really ideal for Michigan.
2nd down and 7 now. Ball on the 12. 7 minutes, 20 seconds left on the clock here in the national championship. Michigan holding on to that 7-point lead, looking to extend it. Corum, right side, breaks a tackle. Blake Corum!
What a run! What a run!
Touchdown, Michigan!
Doesn't get better.
How about that from Blake Corum? Number 2 getting shifty.
Complete reverse of field. And maybe not complete reverse, just...
I believe they call it stopping on the dime.
I'm speechless, but I talked about earlier, Blake Corum kind of has a little more explosiveness in this game than we've been seeing. And that is evidence of it.
That was exactly what Michigan needed.
That's exactly what I've been looking for.
That's a big, I'm assuming this extra point goes in, that's a big 7 for Michigan, up 2 TDs.
And you can't be certain with this team right now. But
I think that went through off the doink.
Alex Miller with nearly the jinx of the century.
High snap by Wagner on that mess with the operation.
James Turner doinked it off the left upright, and it snuck through.
I haven't seen a doink go in a long time. I enjoyed that. But yeah, I mean, up 2 touchdowns, 7:09. This Washington offense, I mean, if you've watched Washington football all year, they have made some incredible comebacks. This game is absolutely not set in stone, but Michigan up 2 scores is what the Wolverines want.
That was a big drive, William, because to go up 2 scores now at this point in the game against a Washington offense that's been struggling, and now there's even more of a sense of urgency for that team to get something going. Maybe you're able to force a turnover, but just to get that juice back on offense.
I kept emphasizing it, that Michigan needed that drive to go up 2 scores just because I thought Washington was going to break the seal at some point. They did hit a deep shot to Odunze finally, but a holding penalty brought it back. And they've just been killing themselves with penalties and with miscues in this game. A lot of plays where Washington has just not been able to be complete.
I mean, they've had some uncharacteristic drops, some uncharacteristic misses from Michael Penix, but they've also, because of that, been a few minor mishaps away from a couple big plays, and this offense can be explosive. They've shown that all season. They, of course, had that big play to O'Dunes they brought back on the hold or penalty last time, and we'll see. I expect them to go through the air. That's their game. That's what you need down 2 scores.
Year 10 of the 4-team playoff, the college football playoff era. past champions being shown on the screen. Nick Saban and the Tide greeted with some boos from the
Nick
crowd.
Saban and the Tide. I remember those guys. I will say, these are the best two teams in the country. I think that's been proven at this point. I mean, 14-0, undefeated regular season, conference champions, took care of business in the semifinal round. This is the game you want as a college football fan. These are the two teams you want playing here.
Yeah, and as much as you could talk about maybe Texas being the easier matchup for Michigan, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with, it's so much fun that they'll have to beat a 14-0 team to improve to 15-0, proving a lot of the doubters for various reasons wrong this season. If they win this game, having to do it against the best, having to do it against, in the last game, the betting tied with them favorite to win the national title. If Michigan wins this game, they've exercised all the demons from the previous two and, previous 25 if you want to go that far.
As they show the trophy
Have to say,
Jumbotron.
Very underwhelming trophy.
I kind of like it.
They have that big base that they take the trophy off. The crystal ball needs to come
was
back.
Perfect.
I don't know why they got rid of it, but whatever.
With 7:09 to go, this Washington offense has to start humming. And I feel like it's got to be this possession, or if not, they've got to get a quick stop. Because 7:09 left, there's not an unlimited amount of time for Washington to work with. Certainly a lot of time, of course, but
Daniel Ngata, the deep man for the Huskies. We haven't seen him really try much today. Does that change here?
Doman is a touchback machine, so I'm not entirely sure.
Doman boots it, and Penix will take over at the 25 again. Same story.
Touchback machine, especially playing at a dome. Michigan's into it right now.
This bench is active, and when this team is having fun, they're at their best, and they're having fun right now.
Josiah Stewart just did a half gritty coming out to assume his position on the left edge.
Empty set for the Huskies. 3 receivers to the left of Penix, 2 to the right. Michael Penix looking to throw. He's got Polk. Jalen Polk breaks a couple of tackles, but continues to fight and is eventually dropped by a trio of Wolverines, including Rod Moore. Jalen Polk, a transfer from Texas Tech, and Lufkin, Texas native, about 130 miles up US 59. So somewhat of a homecoming, I guess you could say.
Very hard in 4 yards for Jalen Polk on that. Broke about 4 tackles.
2nd and 6, ball on the 29. About 6:30 to go in the contest. McMillan motioned left to right. Penix looking deep, and he's got Odunze. Odunze breaks a tackle and is brought down by Sainristil. Rome Odunze with a big one there. He got the last one called back and finally connects with Michael Penix.
And Odunze wide open. Penix pressure in his face. Not a great ball underthrown, but Michigan not home in coverage.
I think if that ball's in stride, Odunze might go to the house. I mean, there was not a lot of Michigan blue anywhere near Odunze.
Huge pickup there for Washington. Big chunk play, and it's going to be another false start. There's the right tackle.
For what? I mean,
Roger Rosengarten got burned again.
We talk about the little things adding up. For Michigan, mistake-wise, Washington, every single good thing they've done has been offset. And now backed up 1st and 15 from the 32. 4 down territory really with 5 and change to go in the 4th quarter.
1st and 15 for the Huskies. Ball on their own, on the Michigan 32. Under 6 to play. Penix looking, stepping up in the pocket, and under pressure.
Had to alligator
over the top of everybody.
Had to alligator on that throw with pressure incoming. He got hit, sent to the turf. Looking for Westover, just floated it over his head.
And the story of the game has been Penix unable to be clicking on that elite level that we've seen him at this season. And you guys have both talked about it. The pressure from Michigan, a big part of that.
Penix last game against Michigan, 30 for 50 for Indiana. He's 24-41 right now.
5:37 to go. 2nd and 15. Empty set again. 4 receivers to the right. Odunze, the lone man to the left.
Another false start. You got to call that.
Penix dumps it over the middle to the tailback. That was Will Nixon. Holds on to this one and only got a couple.
Low throw brought him to the ground.
Right side of the offensive line, I thought jumped early. Maybe timed the snap especially well, but Michigan still got pressure in there with Mason Graham and Derek Moore.
Only 2 on the completion there, so still 3rd and 13. Clock continues to tick down towards 5 minutes.
I mean, we'll talk about it after, but I think Washington's in 4-down territory right here. They might try to pick up 7 or so and then go on for it on 4th.
Bunch to the right, Westover, the lone receiver to the left. Nixon, the running back. Penix under pressure, taking a shot for McMillan. He can't haul it in, and that's incomplete. It was a tough play to make. Good coverage from Mike Sainristil.
Michigan continuing with these stunts on the inside. I thought Washington's offensive line has done largely a good job. Gave Penix enough time to throw, but he has just been off on the deep ball today.
Wasn't a lot of room to get that ball in either. Sainristil was running stride for stride.
But those are the throws he made against Texas, and maybe that's a once in a season kind of performance.
He was dialed in against Texas. There was no question.
He just hasn't been there today.
But again, even a perfect ball, Sainristil can make a play there.
Empty set again as there's a timeout taken by Michigan, I believe. Yep, Jim Harbaugh wants a second to look over this 4th and 13. Huskies keeping the offense out there with under 5 minutes to go. It's a 2-score game. You need to come away with one here. The defense can feel it. This crowd can feel it.
I mean, that was why I sort of mentioned before the last play, if 4-down territory, if Washington was considering going short to try to make it a 4th and manageable, and instead we're back to 4th and 13. Tough pickup coming up.
Ball on the Michigan 30. Huskies need to get to the 17-yard line to move the chains. 4th and 13, 4:52 to go in the national championship. Michigan up 27-13, 14-point lead. Penix with Dylan Johnson to his right. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right.
Michigan.
Receives the snap. Pressure coming. He's flushed. Mike Barrett right in his face. Flag is thrown as McMillan is tackled by Will Johnson.
I think that was a whole bunch of stuff going on in that play.
Penix is down on the turf. He's helped up, but comes up gingerly. He got smoked.
The reason he got smoked, Washington was not expecting the snap. It was snapped early by Parker Brailsford, the center. I think there's going to be a hold on Washington. Will Johnson thought he was beat, so he tackled Odunze.
No, I don't know. I thought Will Johnson was just that the ball was underthrown, and Odunze tried to come back through him. And
so, offsetting penalties. It was a hold on Washington, and again, Johnson just tackled McMillan.
Wait, I'm saying, like, he was wanting the penalty rather than the touchdown. And that's a reasonable play to make if you're Johnson. It does offset what happened in the backfield, but another mistake by Washington. Penix did not expect the snap. Neither did the rest of the offensive line. That's why Michigan had 3 rushers.
So we'll redo 4th and 13. About 15 seconds tick off the clock. Odunze, the lone receiver on the left. 3 receivers to the right. Johnson, the running back, next to Penix. They motion out Westover all the way to the right. Penix, clean pocket, delivers. Picked off! Mikey Sainristil's got it! And he's going the other way! Sainristil over midfield. 1 man to beat. He's got a convoy. Sainristil down inside the 10.
How about that?
You said it was a clean pocket, Kellen. 3 rusher came in late, and Penix had to hurry that throw. You see Harrell off the edge, overthrows McMillan, and Sainristil, who has made a Michigan career out of taking balls back to the house.
Oh, I thought that one was...
Doesn't do it here. He had one against, I believe, Rutgers, Michigan State, and one more that I'm missing. Pick 6s. Can't get it there, but Michigan's offense set up on the doorstep to put this game away.
Mike Sainristil's a baller. I mean, that's the sentence right there.
That's a good way to put it.
He's just so good, and he's only getting better. I mean, he's like, obviously we all know, started as a wide receiver, but he's just getting better and better as a corner, and I'm really excited to watch him on Sundays in the future.
These fans can taste it. This sideline can taste it. 2-score lead. 4:30 to go in the fourth quarter. Goal to go from the 8. JJ under center. Corum the tailback. Turns. Gives. Corum fighting. Forward. Short. He's going to be on the doorstep of the end zone.
Everybody in the building knows you're giving it to 2. The nation's leader in touchdowns. I do want to say, as much as we've kind of talked about McCarthy maybe unable to step up to the big moment consistently, Penix in this game has folded at every big moment for Washington. 2 interceptions, 1 right out of the second half when momentum was on the Huskies' side. A big play there on 4th down, really not giving a receiver a chance. And even on the pass plays they have completed, it's been an underthrow to Odunze.
Power set
Not
for
great.
Michigan. Any guesses where this football is going?
I already said
couldn't
it.
imagine.
JJ turns, gives Corum wide open into the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan. Blake Corum punches it in, and the Wolverines have a 3-score lead here in Houston.
Washington has had their last 10 games this season be decided within 10 points. That's the longest streak in AP poll history since 1936. That's in danger of being broken here by the Wolverines, pending the extra point to open up a 21-point lead.
Turner on for the PAT now. Snap and hold both good, and that kick is good.
Washington
No drama there.
also the nation's leading 21-game win streak active right now. It'll be superseded by Michigan after this game. It's going to be 1 short of the program modern history record for Washington at 22 straight in between that national title winning season in 1991. A lot of streaks coming to an end. Washington undefeated straight up against the spread this season as a dog. Not going to happen in this game, it seems. Michigan closed it around a 6-point favorite. Washington had beaten Oregon twice, beaten Texas as a dog. Kalen DeBoer's made a career out of winning games that he maybe not, it had not been predicted that he would. But again, Michigan bucking another trend. You talk about true talent the last 2 years, the first 5 or 6 years of Jim Harbaugh's tenure. Haven't won a bowl game since 2015 until the Alabama game.
I mean, this win was a Michigan football. If they hold on with up 3:37 to go, this is the Michigan football way to win. You're running the ball dominantly. Your defense steps up and makes a couple excellent big plays throughout the game, and you're up big.
Doman boots it, will be returned. Nagata with no space there. He's dropped inside the 15. Kick coverage for unit for Michigan. Gets their first crack at it and is stifling per usual. And I think now it's time to ask the question. This defensive unit in the last 10 or so years of college football has got to be right up there with some of the best of them.
Coming into this game, allowing 10.2 points per game, the second lowest in the playoff era. 2021 Georgia, I believe, was number 1, allowing under 10 points a game. And Michigan, for a majority of the year, was under 10. Just over the last few, Alabama letting up 20. They did shut out Iowa to boost their number. But, I mean, yeah, the defense has been incredible, especially in a season where offense is down. This defense has still stood out among the rest.
Michigan pass rushers pinning their ears back to get after Penix. 1st and 10, he's going to throw for it. Over the middle, got Polk. Jalen Polk continuing to make players miss, and he's eventually brought down. And a flag is thrown late. They're going to get Will Johnson.
We'll see what they call, but
Potentially.
Right, I was going to say, if he led with the head, I don't think it was a late hit, but
He didn't lead with his head, but he got the head of Polk. Polk was getting
I thought he was
tackled.
diving over, and Polk was kind of sliding.
I would
The
agree
other
with you
implication of this play, Will Johnson would be ejected from this game, but also the first half of the season opener.
Huh.
there. Is it carry over like
Yep,
that?
it does.
And that is targeting.
They're going to review it, as they always do with these plays, but Will Johnson, I think, even with Mikey Sanderson's interception, Corum's 2 touchdowns, all the other plays in this game, I think Will Johnson, the way that he's played Rome Odunze, has been incredible in this game. He did allow 1 big catch.
But But against Penix and Odunze,
it was taken back due to a hold, and the big play to Odunze that set them up inside the red zone was on Rod Moore and Josh Wallace. So really, I think
I would be shocked if this sticks.
It's really because Polk is falling down. I mean, what is Will Johnson supposed to do? Teleport in midair?
He hit him in the.
But it was kind of leading with his head. I mean,
but he hit him.
There's
with
some
the
actually
shoulder.
that side that view looks shoulder, but.
And
all right, there we go.
I think that's the right call.
I think that's the right call.
If Polk isn't falling down, Will Johnson is leading with the correct tackling technique of meeting him around his thighs with his shoulder. And it just so happens in football, players are moving around. They are human beings. And
they're moving quickly.
Yeah, like Will Johnson can't just veer off. He's got a course once he leaves his feet.
Officials get that one right. 2nd and 3 now for the Huskies. Ball on their 24. Clock continues to tick toward 3:10. Penix claps his hands, receives the snap. Michigan, pressure coming, and that is incomplete. Threw that behind McMillan. And again, more pressure in his face. I believe that was Jalen Harrell and then Mason Graham up the middle.
Mason Graham had an unreal spin move up the middle.
Sets up another 3rd down for the Huskies. Obviously, 4-down territory at this point. You're just hoping for any kind of miracle. But under 3 minutes, down 3 scores. Nothing short of divine intervention is required. Empty set for the Huskies. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Penix throws over the middle. He's got Nixon, the running back, who's going to be stopped short. And so 4th and 1 for the Huskies now.
And again, Michigan covering everything deep. I mean, you come into this game expecting Michigan at least to let something break loose, and there have been chances for the Huskies. They just haven't capitalized. And on this drive where they need scores quick, nothing.
4th and 1 for the Huskies. And it's a handoff up the middle. They're just going to keep their offense out here. Nixon got it. That'll move the chains, but keeps the clock moving. As we approach 2 minutes, pass over the middle of the field, incomplete, looking for Westover. Keon Sabb right in there to make the hit and draw the ball free.
2:04 to go, 21-point lead.
Excuse me, that was the other tight end, Josh Cuevas.
I mean, you were ready for the worst in the Alabama game, but this is,
a lot less drama up in the booth, I can tell you that.
This is a feeling I don't know if I've ever experienced before. We're all Detroit people. Our teams haven't done something like this before.
Never. 2:04 to go. Michigan 124 seconds away from glory. Penix stepping up, and that is nearly intercepted again. Colson tipped it, and Will Johnson unable to make the play after it was tipped.
2 chances for it, really. And
Colson with that club on his left hand, tough to haul one in.
Penix was down after that play, and I don't think he's been completely right for the last 4 or 5, maybe more plays.
You talk about a guy who's not completely right. Junior Colson has a club on his hand. That's why he didn't make the pick. He's had that for the past few weeks. Past few months,
had
really.
2 on earlier in December. Under 2 minutes now. 3rd and 10 for the Huskies. Michigan, free runner coming in at Penix. He's hammered and just has to heave it out of bounds. Michael Penix has been taking a beating.
Yeah, he's hurt now.
He's been hurt.
But that's a shoulder separation. I mean, I don't want to speculate that much, but he is holding his shoulder like he can't support it.
And he's
his right shoulder, and obviously he's a lefty. He's had both shoulders separate once at Indiana, twice at Indiana. His off arm and his throwing arm. And right now he's not feeling good. 2
torn ACLs for Penix as well. Talk about a guy who's been battled through so much. Was a monster at Indiana, tore his ACL, transferred with his then OC, Kalen DeBoer.
Beat Michigan from Indiana for the first time in 40 years.
followed Kalen DeBoer to Washington and has been a superstar for the Huskies.
Told him his ribcage, too.
Yeah, I mean, if you have seen when Matt Stafford gets buried and has to come back onto the field for the game-winning two-point conversion his rookie year against the Browns, that I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. That's a similar way that Penix is holding his arm right now.
So Michigan calls timeout.
And
the game.
I know you want to keep him out there, but you're down by 21 points. And
it might be one of those things where Penix just is saying, I'm not coming out of the game.
I don't think he's that type of player.
I know, but fourth down and 10, and you don't want to give up. It's just.
He's still out there.
You don't want to see more injury on top of an already kind of serious injury, especially for a guy that there was some buzz after that Texas game that he might go top 20 in the NFL draft.
Even higher than that. Backup Dylan Morris was in the huddle there, but stays on the sidelines.
And Morris, a Washington native who will transfer after the year, started 2 games in 20 and 21.
3 receivers to the right for Penix, who will throw, and it's incomplete. Michigan's going to get the football back. And this game's all but over. They can taste it.
And
Michigan 109 seconds away from eternal glory.
I do want to say that I was kind of proven right earlier when I was saying that this game could end in a blowout like the last 5 national championship games. It was so close for a long while, but now Michigan's opened it up, and it won't be as exciting of a finish as the 2 semifinal games. But for Michigan fans, it will.
Yet again, Michigan's defense gets a stop. And this time the offense gets to come onto the field and burn the last 109 seconds. McCarthy on the field, Peyton O'Leary out there as the 3rd wide receiver with Wilson and Johnson, and it's a handoff to Corum. Corum up the middle, no space there.
DeBoer is going to call his timeouts. He's got 3 of them.
That's what I was wondering.
Or no, I guess not. They blew the whistle like he called a timeout, but he's going to let the clock run out.
Well, I think if you're Michigan, then you enter victory formation.
And a good gesture from Harbaugh to get O'Leary a snap in the national title game, as Max Bredesen now checks in, along with Matthew Hibner.
Trevor Keegan on his knees, now up, just kind of absorbing the moment. A guy who will also be going to the NFL. You talk about a number of these guys. This is the last few snaps they will play as Michigan Wolverines.
Victory formation for the Michigan Wolverines. Is going to take one more kneel down, and then that'll do it.
How about the boys in blue?
They've done it. This is the team that all season had that kind of buzz. Is this the team? Every year it feels like there's one team that's head and shoulders above the rest. And it's been Michigan.
How about 14 points in back-to-back closing periods in the 2 semifinal games? 7 points in
McCarthy.
4th quarter.
Takes the knee. That'll do it. The Michigan Wolverines are national champions. Ann Arbor, party like it's 1997. The Wolverines are the best in all the land.
Where's the confetti?
Michigan.
Oh, clock's got to hit triple zeros.
Has claimed their national championship. Triple zeros, there it is. It's official. Your 2024 national champions wear the maize and blue. It's the Michigan Wolverines as the maize and blue confetti will fall through NRG Stadium. 2024, the year of the Wolverine.
Got to take some pictures, just like we did at the Rose Bowl.
And there is no better feeling for every player, coach, staffer, manager on that field right now wearing maize and blue than this right here, what they're feeling right now. And Michigan is 15-0 for the first time in program history, and they are national champions. From sea to shining sea, Michigan is number one.
I mean, they did it.
Yeah.
Perfect season. 15-0. What a run these last 3 years have been for this team. I mean, this is the best roster that Michigan's had in these last couple of years. The defense, credit to the defense. I mean, 3 points second half. I mean, what a showing by this Michigan team, and I'm happy for everyone in this program.
The Alabama game definitely elicits a different reaction, having coming down to the wire and having like a whole 10 minutes to absorb this feeling is really amazing. We're a bit subdued here, I have to say. But
it's different.
I think it's just the lack of like thriller ending.
Yeah.
Michigan, I mean,
at no point did I really think that Michigan was going to lose once they jumped out to the 14-point lead. I have to be honest.
And for these Husky players that are being showered in maize and blue confetti and slowly